I guess, identified any specific issues that South Australian producers need addressing or are seeking help from the federal government on?
Well, really, the most common issue that gets raised are all to do with the extraordinary burden of compliance for export, whether it be export certifications, inspections, charges, difficulty in the myriad of different things that you have to do for all the markets that you have to go into. So I think if we could work on streamlining market access so that there was an easy way for farmers, whether they're existing exporters or whether they're new exporters, to know what they need to do to get into an export market. Because if we can get strong export markets, it also increases the strength of our domestic markets. So as a federal government, our involvement needs to be at that export level. Many of the issues that I see around agriculture are the domain of the state government. Obviously the debate at the moment about GM, no GM, and the like is something that's the South Australian government's purvey. But I think, market access has got to be the thing that we can do in the federal sense to make our farmers more profitable.
Okay. Just one issue that's been raised with us here at Stock Journal is on drought payments. There has been some barriers to people accessing those still. Is there anything that the federal government can do in that regard?
Okay, look, Minister Joyce was very, very strong about supporting our farmers and the implications of genuine drought. The issue that we face is because we live in a federated model and the states have certain roles and responsibilities, the state government actually has to declare an area drought affected for us to be able to come in and give federal assistance to drought funding. This has been a bit of a problem in South Australia in the past. It's certainly, we seem to have had a bit of an improvement, but unless the South Australian government is really keen and active in this space, it's very difficult for a federal government to intervene in many things, including this. The other thing too, we've also got to, I think, be realistic about is what is a drought and what isn't a drought. And there's been a fair bit of ambiguity around what are the criteria to enable a particular area to be declared drought affected. So it's a very complex area as to what's good farming practice for the area that you're living in, and what is actually genuinely a drought affected area.
Okay, so really it's probably more of a state government issue at the moment in terms of making those payments accessible.
Well, yeah, certainly in terms of the coalface of who is to be declared drought affected is very much a South Australian government jurisdiction. But of course, if they are declared as drought affected, then the federal government does have resources that they can make available to the state government to assist their farmers in those circumstances.
Okay. It sounds like, I guess, South Australians can be a bit more confident that they will have somebody in the federal executive advocating for them. Hopefully we can see some outcomes achieved, and I guess a turnaround perhaps. Well, obviously the Liberal Party would like to see a turnaround in their support from South Australians, which we expect to come, I guess, from this move for Turnbull, seeing that a number of South Australian senators and Mr Pyne, for example, voted for Turnbull. Is that how you see it too?
Look, I mean, I think it's a case of, the polls of this morning are very positive, and the polls we've seen in the last few days, that obviously the win in the Canning by-election, I think has given some confidence that the change has been a change for the good. I think the opportunity for us is to get on with the job and make sure that we deliver the outcomes, because the public will be forgiving for a few minutes, and you often do get a bounce in the polls. Sustainability of improved polls comes about from delivering outcomes, and I was delighted to see an improved position for the South Australian Liberal team in Canberra, obviously with Minister Pyne still maintaining a very senior role, the elevation of Senator Birmingham into the Cabinet as a senior Cabinet Minister, Mr Briggs retaining his ministerial portfolio opportunity, and the elevation of me into the executive government. So yeah, South Australia is now punching well above its weight in terms of its representation in Canberra. So that's terrific. But we've still got to go out there and do the work and deliver the outcomes so that the people have got something to go to the polls in 12 months' time.
Yeah, sure. Well, it sounds like it's a really exciting time to be a South Australian based on what we've heard today, and a great time to be Senator Anne Ruston with this move. So congratulations again, and thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you.